Welcome back into the Sporting News Studio. I'm Stephen Levine. This is Tom Vandervoort. And Tom, the FBI just released over 860 pages of a file they kept on Joe Paterno over the years. In that file, there was no mention of former Penn State defensive coordinator and convicted child molester Jerry Sandusky. Perhaps the biggest revelation is that Joe Paterno received threatening letters over the years that the FBI investigated.
Right. Well, that's what the file was all about, threatening letters that Joe Paterno received, and members of the athletic department at Penn State received referencing Paterno and members of his family and staff. And I went into this file. You can go online to fbi.gov, type in Paterno in the search bar, and you can find this document, and you can read it all. I didn't read it all, but I read a lot of it, and the letters are very disturbing. They're upsetting. Now, when you step back and think about it, you can't be surprised at some level that a guy with as high a profile as Paterno, who coached for as many years as Paterno, has received notifications of this kind. And while at first you might say to yourself, gee, I'm surprised that there's no mention of assistant football coach Jerry Sandusky in light of what he's now been convicted of, you have to then take a step back and think, well, how did the FBI come into possession of these materials? And in many cases, if not most, it was because members of the athletic department or Joe Paterno and his family themselves forwarded the letters to the FBI for investigation. And so once you think about it that way, it's not quite as surprising to me that there was no mention of Jerry Sandusky.
Because the report investigated and compiled by former FBI Director Louis Freeh about the Sandusky issues at Penn State basically alleges a cover-up by officials in the athletic department.
Sure. And so I think we have to look at this as fairly separate from the Sandusky case. And there were, according to the Associated Press, about 40 or so pages that were not released as part of this Freedom of Information Act request.
Right, to protect confidential sources and privacy issues, etc. Right. All right, for Tom Vandervoort, I'm Stephen Levine. Thank you for watching. Please check back. There'll be lots more videos from the Sporting News Studio.